Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're doing a little side work in the garage. Going to show you how to change the oil in your 2011 to 2017 Nissan Juke with the 1.6 liter turbo. This one's a 2014. Really easy job, anybody can do it. The first step you're going to want to do is make sure the engine is warmed up. It doesn't have to be completely hot, just you don't want it to be cold. So once you have it warmed up, the next step you would do is take off your oil cap. Set that aside, and then we're ready to go underneath the car. For this job you don't need a lot of tools. All you use is a basic socket wrench. I use a shallow 14mm socket, a drain pan, a filter, and then a flashlight helps as well. Then you're going to need your oil, a new filter, and some napkins will come in handy as well. This particular car, I like to use just this basic oil pan. It's not super tall, so it will fit underneath the engine without having to jack it up, use jack stands or anything like that. Just a 7-quart drain pan. I bought this at Walmart. I mean, you probably get something similar on Amazon or eBay. And then it takes about 4.5 quarts, so I just buy the 5-gallon jug. Alright guys, once you're underneath the car and you locate your oil filter right here, this is your oil pan. The drain bolt's going to be right here on the back of it. Get in there. Yeah, here's your drain bolt right there. So your first step you're going to do, get your pan ready. You're going to loosen up the drain bolt. And once you have it broke loose, it's just going to be finger tight. So get your pan ready to catch the oil. And you're just going to loosen the bolt, back it out slowly. I have a few napkins ready in case the oil spills out. Now once it's ready to come, just let it go and catch the oil. Now, clean off the bolt, the drain bolt. Okay, while this keeps draining, I'm going to get my new filter ready to install on the Juke. So what you're going to do is pull it out of the package and then open up your new oil. I'm going to dip one of my fingers into the oil so it's nice and coated, and then just make sure you lubricate the gasket on the new filter. So just make sure you basically coat the gasket completely with oil, and now that's ready to be installed on the Juke. Okay, back underneath the car. Once the oil is slowly, just barely dripping out, you can go ahead and put your drain bolt back in. And you want to make sure you thread it in by hand. Don't use a ratchet because you don't want to strip it out. And you're going to just wipe off any excess oil that got on the pan. Move our drain pan out of the way. Then grab your socket wrench. And then you're just going to snug it up. Now we can move on to changing the oil filter. Okay, so now that we've drained all oil, we changed the oil filter out, everything's tightened down up there, and we wiped off all excess fluid. We're going to come back up on top, and where your oil cap goes, you're going to put your funnel, and then we're going to fill it up with about 4 quarts. So on this jug, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarts of oil. This car, it says, takes around 4.5, so once I get down to about 1 quart left, then I'll let it go down into the engine, and then we'll check the oil and see how much is in there and just make sure that we have the right amount. Alright, so we're going to slowly pour in the new oil, and I have a rag ready just in case any was to spill. See how much we got. So just about another quart and a quarter, and then we can check the oil level from there. We're gonna need a little bit more. Okay, so that's roughly about 4 quarts in there. It's a good point to stop and check how much oil is actually in the engine now. Okay, so we'll pull the dipstick. We have a clean rag. And you can see on here, it's got one hole here, that's the low mark, and there's another hole up here, that's the high mark. So I like to clean it off once. You can probably see those holes a little bit better. Clean it off, then stick it back in. And pull it back out and see where we're at. Alright, so it says these cars take about 4.5 quarts. We put 4 quarts in, and it's actually up to the top dot, the full dot. So we're all good. Okay guys, you want to make sure you recycle your oil. So I have an old container. I know it's used, so before you pour your oil into here, just put down an old box or some cardboard. That way if you spill like I did, it doesn't get on your concrete, and it's a lot easier to clean that up. Alright, so now we're gonna so now we're gonna take out the funnel, put it in there, put the oil cap back on. And then we'll set this on the ground. Grab the keys. Alright, I always reset the trip. That way you know how many miles you have on your oil change. And I'll start it up. Then we're just gonna make sure no oil is leaking out underneath. That way we know everything's good and snug. No leaks, and you're all set. Any questions, put them down in the comments, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.